So maybe we take just a brief rest, let your body rest, and I'll try to answer that question now. And the question that many ask is that, can you please explain how this gives us energy? Trying to understand and learn. That's the right perspective. You need to understand before you can learn. So why is it that we do these magical things and somehow it helps us with the energy? So I'll tell you a joke, right? You remember a former president? I don't want to mention names, but I remember when he was running for the office, he said something like, everything I have, I made on my own. All I did was to borrow $1 million from my dad. which is good, you know? How do you become a millionaire? You start with $1 million. So the Western concept of bringing energy to your body is to spend a lot of energy. That's like starting with $1 million to become a millionaire. This is fine if you're 27 or 37. It's not so fine as you get older and older like me. Because now I just want the energy. I have no more energy to give. So how is the Chinese or the Indian way different from the Western way? Because the Western way thinks only of the body. It thinks only of the body. Whereas the Eastern way, they understand that the body is just part of the universe. And the universe have energy that are independent of the body. And we are so insignificant in this universe that if we were to disappear tomorrow, or if an entire species disappeared tomorrow, it would not affect the sun. It would not affect the system beyond the sun. It would not affect anything. So if you use the logic that we cannot affect the universe, then the universe must have tremendous effect on us. So if we want energy, we could spend a lot of time getting it from our body. Or we can tap into the universe. If you don't have $1 million to start with, like a former president, then you're going to have to find a different way. And so this chi is really not about the body. It's about working with the environment, working with the universe, being part of the universe. So how does the universe affect our body? Well, we know there's a sun, and we know there's absence of sun. And so we call that the yin and the yang. And we divide the yin and the yang into 12 equal parts. In the Western world, we divide it in 24 equal parts, 1 hour per each. In the Eastern world, we divide into 12, and we start to observe a body, a live body, not a cadaver. Not a cadaver, not a dead body, a live body. So how do you observe a live body? Well, we didn't know how to do that. We didn't know. The Chinese didn't actually know how to do that until about 1600 years ago when Bodhidharma visited us. Bodhidharma was a North Indian yogi. He was a 28th generation disciple of the original Buddha, who was also a North Indian yogi. And so Bodhidharma taught the Chinese meditation. Now, some words don't translate. The word meditation doesn't translate. There's really no one Chinese word that meant exactly the same way as meditation. The closest word that we have to meditation is also translated. That's called Zen. Zen is actually the closest word that we have to meditation. Zen comes from the Chinese word Chan. Chan was originally Chan Na, which is a translation from the North Indian word called jhana. And jhana has very rich meaning. It's both a destination and a journey. Destination means that the practice allows you to enter a realm of the universe that are beyond a body. That's the destination. But it also meant the process, the journey. that you basically mean sentimentation. You allow all your emotion, all your bad emotion to settle so that you become aware of your body. You become more aware of the multiple dimension of your body. Now that sounds very incredible. Not so. If you talk to people who study relativity, like I do, you know that Einstein has a very famous equation called E equal mc squared. E is energy, m is mass. It's the relationship between particle and wave. That's the basis for the invention of the nuclear bomb. That's also the basis for the understanding of the origin of the universe, what we call now Big Bang. One is taking particle, generating energy. The other one is taking tremendous amount of energy and finally generating particle. So that explains the body and the chi. They both coexist. It's just that our mind is not quiet enough to really understand beyond the body. You would have to be a meditator. You would have to be someone who are able to calm the mind so much using this technique that you can see beyond your body. And if you could see beyond your body, you would start to see the energy. And if you can see beyond the energy, you could start to see your mind, which is not your thinking mind. That's something else. What is the mind? Well, go back to quantum physics. After Einstein came Stephen Hawkins. Stephen Hawkins died too early. He would have gotten a Nobel Prize for sure. Because one of the greatest inventions is called the Hawkins Radiation, where it talks about the black hole. The black hole is where particle and wave coexist. The idea is that when particle enter a region in space, they become waves, so the particle disappear, completely disappear. And Stephen Hawking says, no, that's not possible. Because in addition to conservation of particle, concentration, and wave, there has to be conservation of information. So he talks about how something escaped. We haven't proven that yet. That explains the mind. That's the 3 dimension of your existence. So if you have $1 million that you can borrow from your dad, then you can go and make $1 million. But if you're like me, who don't have $1 million, who has a body who's decaying by definition, I don't have the kind of energy that you guys have anymore. I have to find a different way. And the different way is to accept the possibility that we exist beyond a body. And to really preserve the body, to preserve my viability, I now tap into the chi, the energy. Not only that, I tap into the mind so that I exist not only as a particle, but also as a wave, but also as quantum information. Okay? Did I explain the question? No, of course not. I did not explain the question. I better not. I haven't experienced all of that yet. I'm just telling you that this is the journey that I'm on. It's up to you to experience it on your own. Now we're going to experience our energy in us on our own by learning how to use the diaphragm, by learning how to do abdominal breathing. And then I'm going to show you how to, after we do the exercise, how we're actually going to generate some chi in us.